Hey there, this is Andrew. Just going to make a quick video of that ThinkBack function in TOS that I was talking about in the chat. So you go to this Analyze tab, and instead of clicking on Risk Profile like you normally would to check out your trade, you go to ThinkBack. And over here you can see all the trade option chain, and up here you can change the date, so you can go back in time. So you can go only as forward as the day before today, or you might even be able to choose today. Yeah, you can choose today. But anyways, we'll go back to February 26th, which would have been when you opened the double calendar that would have expired on Friday. And so the trade you would have opened would have been the March 5th, March 8th, 7 days to expiration in the front week, 10 days to expiration in the back week. And so you can take a look at the IV for those. And so it's 29% in the front week and 27% in the back week. And so if we go back to that screenshot I had taken, how do I get to that? Here we go. Go back up to that screenshot. So the March 5th and 8th, you would let that run to 0 and 3, or even 1 and 4 if you wanted to close it a day early. And so that 27% IV and 29% IV became 12% and 17%. So in the front week, that dropped 17%, and in the back week, that dropped 10%. And so my idea is, instead of opening the 7 and 10, switch back to TOS. Instead of opening the 7 and 10, you would open the 7 and 14, and so that 14 days to expiration being a little bit further out provides you a little bit more stability. Of course, you can go even further out if you want. You could open the 21, but the further out you go, the more premium it costs. So if you were to open the 7 and 14, that 14% when you open it on February 26th, not 14%, 14 DTE, when you open it on February 26th, would have an IV of 28%. So if we go back to that screenshot again, that was the March 12th. So that went from 28% down to 22% on the day of expiration. So it's a 6% drop. So that's still pretty significant, and that probably would have caused the trade to be a loser. But that's still less than going from 27% down to 17%, which is a 10% drop, which I think would be even worse. And so, this isn't always the case. Oftentimes IV goes up. And so, in that case, opening up the 7 and 10 would have been fine, but this 10% drop is bad, really bad for the trade. And so I think in those cases, which it seems like happens a lot where IV drops, opening up the 14 DTE would be more beneficial. Let me switch back to ThinkBack, that ThinkBack tab. And so this is a pretty cool function that TOS has. You can go back to any date you want, by flipping this calendar. You can open up any trades. You could open up, that double calendar, the 7 and 10, and see how it did. The only thing with double calendars, though, I think this ThinkBack function, it just likes to let trades expire. Doesn't, you can't really tell where it would have been, on the day of expiration. So let's just open up that trade. So let's go to March 5th. That's how we would have opened it on the 26th. You would buy a double calendar with, let's say, the 29 delta. So that's the call side is 387, and the put side, let's go to the 30 delta. So that's 372. And if you click on the underlying, and then let's zoom in a little, it shows you the P&L after you open it. So it's apparently trying to say that after you opened it, so So here's the profit and loss, negative down here and positive up here. So after you opened it, you would have been in the negative immediately, but then it would have climbed into the positive on through March 4th, and then looks like it drops a little bit March 5th, but still positive in the $40 or $50 profit range. And then the front week expires, and so now it's showing negative, but that's not really accurate because that front week is gone. So that's why this doesn't really accurately show the double calendar, I don't think. So it's just, I think where it's more valuable in regards to double calendars anyways is being able to see what the IV was back in the day, so you can diagnose what happened to your trade potentially. And I think it helps understand how this chain operates a little bit, right? So like you saw how that the 7 and 10 day lost a lot of its IV, whereas that 14, I think, it still dropped, but it held its stability a bit better by dropping 6%, rather than full 10%. I think that helps the trade. But anyways, that's ThinkBack, and those are my thoughts. Thanks for listening.